What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Double A Hef here with another dose of the Truth Scope. Please do me a favor. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know what you think in the comments below. So, as you can see, we're going to be touching on the brother, Dr. Umar Johnson, and the sister, if you want to call her that. I don't know what she would want to be called. Brittany Griner. Those of you who don't know, she's over there in Russia, locked up on basically drug paraphernalia charge, which has a lengthy sentence over there in Russia of 10 years. So, I saved this video so that I could touch on it. But then, like I said in the video that I posted yesterday, I had a lot going on, COVID and vacation, all that other stuff. So I don't quite remember why I wanted to do this video. But I'm gonna play it. I'm just gonna break it down because I'm sure it'll come back to me as we go through.
One of the worst insults to black womanhood in American society. What is happening to Brittany Griner right now is one of the worst insults in American history to black women.
That I would disagree. I don't think that what's happening to Brittany Griner is insulting to even Brittany Griner. So how could it be insulting to black women over here in America? I would like to think that most black women over here in America wouldn't go abroad and try to do what Brittany Griner did. Allegedly. I'll give her that. I'll say allegedly did, because who knows how their system works over there. Now, do I doubt that she has some weed paraphernalia? No, not at all. Not at all. But, I'll just say allegedly because, you never really know. But, I'm sure she dabbles in marijuana and all sorts of other things. But, yeah, I don't think, but then again, we all know that Umar's very hyperbolic in his speech. He'll say some things like that. To be quite honest with you, I don't think most quote unquote black women here in America even are sympathetic to Brittany Griner and what she's going through right now, because think about it. Brittany Griner is getting paid. Well, was getting paid millions of dollars to play basketball in Russia. How many quote unquote black women in America can relate to that? Period. How many black women in America are freaking 6'8"? So I don't think so, Umar. But continue. Elaborate on your point.
What happened to Brittany Griner in Russia, sentenced to 8-9 years, is one of the worst insults ever handed out by the U.S. government to African people.
Well, the U.S. government didn't hand that out. Russia did.
Blaming Russia. Russia only did what Joe Biden made it comfortable for Russia to do. I'm not blaming.
Okay, I'll give you that. There's some validity to that. Yes. If Russia maybe not feared but respected Joe Biden and his administration more, maybe they wouldn't have done something like that. Maybe he would have been like, let's just, work this out, get her sent back, yada, yada. I don't really feel like dealing with that. So, yeah, I'm sure there's definitely some validity to that point. But to sit here and say that, America's to blame and Russia isn't at all, and don't say shit about Brittany Griner and her actions, that is literally the issue that we have over here in this country, and not just amongst quote-unquote black women, but amongst black men just as well. If you notice, there's always the deflection from accountability. This guy's saying, I'm not blaming Russia. I'm not blaming Brittany. I'm blaming the United States. The United States told Brittany Griner to go over there with some marijuana paraphernalia and try to get on a plane.
Russia only did what President Joe Biden made it comfortable for Russia to do. I'm not blaming Russia. I'm blaming the United States of America. The minute our sister got arrested, the minute Brittany Griner got arrested for being in possession of less than 1 gram.
It don't matter. And that's another thing. And look, fellas, y'all will see this, not just as it pertains to things going on abroad, like with the Brittany Griner case, but y'all see this here in America. Like if a nigga do something wrong, he just had the gun, but he didn't shoot nobody. Oh, but he didn't have the permit, whatever. Okay, but yo, you're not supposed to do that. That's against the law. Oh, they arrested him and they beat him up for he only had a little bag of weed. Look, the question is, was what he was doing was illegal? If the answer is yes, then I don't give a fuck about the quantity. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Because ultimately you put yourself in that position. So, if the answer is no, all right, then now we can have a discussion about what the hell's going on. So I don't care about oh, it's less than a gram or whatever the case may be. Look, she should have looked up what's the legal amount that she could have been boarding the plane with or just had in general in Russia. And then if it was, say less than half a gram that you can have, then hey, only have that amount. But if it's none at all, then hey, don't have any. But if you choose to do so, then you understand that you're gonna have to be accountable to any and all issues that come from that. Period.
Cannabis oil. Less than 1 gram of cannabis oil. Less than 1 gram of cannabis.
Let me ask you a question, Umar. How much cannabis oil is deemed to be illegal in Russia?
Oil. Our sister is going to jail for 8 to 9 years because she had less than 1 gram of cannabis oil.
Look, do I think that sentence is rather harsh? For doesn't even matter how much really, but for cannabis oil, yeah. But that's from my perspective, my American perspective. I live in America, right? So I'm an American. I'm a U.S. citizen. So from that perspective, yes, I think 8-9 years or something like that is a bit harsh. So do I agree with that? No. But what do I understand? I understand that different countries have different laws. And I understand that if I go someplace, not even just different countries, different states got different laws, right? Say I go to a different state and I'm doing something over there that I can't do in my state, then, if I'm doing something over there that I can do in my state, but I can't do over there, I have to be privy to that. I have to understand what it is I'm going to be doing and whether I can or not in that area. That's on you. That's on you, the traveler, to understand what the hell's going on. So again, is it 8-9 years? Well, actually, he's saying 8-9, but they gave her 10. Do I think 10 years is a bit harsh? Yeah, but at the end of the day, don't do what you did and you won't be in that position. Period. Because you can't go to Russia and say, oh, well, a charge like this only deems, this much over there in the United States. If I'm Russia, I'd be like, well, I don't give a fuck. That shit don't got nothing to do with me and how we operate over here.
On her person, traveling through a country where she did not know it was illegal. Then 1 gram of cannabis oil, brothers and sisters. And Joe Biden got the nerve to say,
hold on,
traveling through a country where she did not know it was illegal. Less than 1 gram of cannabis oil, brothers and sisters.
So again, I'm gonna just go out and say that's not true, that she didn't know that it was illegal. Brittany Griner has been to Russia many times. It wasn't her first time going there. For those of you who know, for those of you who don't know, I should say, WNBA players have been going to Europe and traveling abroad in the off season since the league's been in existence. That way they can make more money because they make more money over there.
And Joe Biden got the nerve to say, President Joe Biden got the nerve to say, this is another example of how unfair Russia is. You are mistaken, President Joe Biden. You are mistaken, President Joe Biden. This is not another example of how unfair Russia is. This is another example of how racist America is. This is another example of how racist America is. This is another example of how racist America is. Why didn't America put up a fight the minute she got arrested? Why didn't America keep the same energy for Brittany Griner that she kept for Ukraine? Why didn't America keep the same energy for Brittany Griner?
Well, there's many reasons. The Ukraine thing is a geopolitical, basically a geopolitical chess match. All right, and Brittany Griner is not even a pawn. All right, she's not even a pawn. She's not even in the chess game. So, and again, you saying this shows how racist America is. America is so racist that it allowed a quote unquote black lesbian to make a boatload of money, more money than you, Umar, by playing a game. America let her go abroad so that way she can expand her brand and make more money. But now America's racist because of that, or that exemplifies America's quote unquote racism.
As she kept for the
Look, brothers. If you're when you're a hammer, everything that you see is a nail. So, when you're a victim, everything that you see is oppression. Keep that in mind. And when you're having discussions with people or you're overhearing talks and stuff like that, you just pay attention to certain framings and keywords that's used, and that'll let you know who you're dealing with. Obviously, Umar is, he's a victim, so he perpetuates his victim mentality. So everything that he sees is going to be oppression, and his audience, a lot of them. Although I must acknowledge, many quote unquote subscribers of Umar have subscribed to my channel over the past year. So I'm sure that they're waking up, and many more will wake up to this nonsense that basically Umar stakes his relevance in quote unquote black victimhood and oppression and racism, because he knows that he can always spin it and keep people captivated in it and fearful in it and trying to figure out what to do, how they can fight something that isn't actually tangible.
Ukraine. Why didn't America keep the same energy for Brittany Griner that she had for the Afghani refugees? Why didn't America keep the same energy she had for Brittany Griner for the Afghanistan refugees? Brittany Griner ain't going to jail for 8 years for the Russians. She ain't going to jail for 8 years for the Russians. She going to jail for 8 years because of Kamala Harris. She going to jail for 8 years because of Kamala Harris. She's going to jail for 8 years because of Kamala Harris. She's going to jail for 8 years because of President Joe Biden. She's going to jail for 8 years because of the Congressional Black Caucus. She's going to jail for 8 years because of the Congressional Black Caucus. She's going to jail for 8 years because of the Congressional Black Caucus. Let me ask you a question, United States government. If Tom Brady was arrested in Russia for less than 1 gram of cannabis oil, would Tom Brady be going to jail for 8 to 9?
You know what I like about these hypotheticals that people always pose actually, and they bring up these hypotheticals. One, because they don't have anything of substance to validate what they're saying or to support what they're saying, for that matter. So they'll bring up these hypotheticals. Oh, if that was LeBron James. Oh, if that was Tom Brady. So look, based off Tom Brady's 44 years on this earth, I think it's safe to say that Tom Brady wouldn't put himself in that position. Like I just did the last video I did about the airport fight, and I said basically that's not a woman. That's a female. Women don't find themselves in situations like that. They don't, for the most part. And the same thing, Tom Brady doesn't find himself in positions like that. So how about we say, what if Brittany Griner was more like Tom Brady? Would she be arrested in Russia right now? And the answer is no, and it's not even close. She would not be arrested right now. So if you're ever in a quote unquote debate or argument with somebody and they try to hit you with one of these weak ass hypotheticals, or if this was somebody else, or what, and I don't get me wrong, I could break that down even further because there's so much nuance in just who one person is, let alone trying to compare them to somebody else. You can't because they don't live in the goddamn vacuum. You know what I mean? There's different experiences that everyone goes through that help shape who they ultimately become. And I put become in quotes because you're always changing. You're not the same person that today that you were 10 years ago. And you're not going to be the same person 10 years from now that you are today.
9 years. If Aaron Rodgers was arrested in Russia for less than 1 gram of cannabis oil, would Aaron Rodgers be going to jail?
So again, like I said about the Tom Brady thing, if Brittany Griner conducted herself more like Aaron Rodgers, would she be in a Russian jail right now? And that tells you that it's the individual. It's the individual. It's not the system. It's the individual. Because if it was the system, then everybody would be subject to the same exact thing. It would just be happening, and there would be nothing that we can do about it. But because that's not happening, and then because we can look at a LeBron James, we could even look at a fucking Carmelo Anthony, who's had some issues, not abroad that I'm aware of, but has some issues, and say, hey, well, you know what? He's not sentenced to 10 years in a foreign prison. LeBron James isn't. They're not putting themselves in that position. They're just not.
9 years.
And then hey, look, if it were to happen, that would be crazy. But let's just entertain it for a second. If it were to, why my screen turned like that? I don't want this shit turned. All right, so if it were to happen, the difference between Brittany Griner and LeBron James is a billionaire. LeBron James is huge for the U.S. economy. And not only that, LeBron James is important for the geopolitical world stage because of his ties with Nike and China. So even if LeBron James did get arrested in Russia, I'm not even going to sit here and say that the U.S. would even have to get him out. China might get his ass out, or Nike will get him out, because he's an entity on his own, So you can't make the comparison.
Brothers and sisters, if Dirk Nowitzki got arrested in Russia, I'm Brady. With time, you've been led astray, brothers and sisters. And I got a big question, because I'm upset. Brittany Griner is my sister, and I love her, and what they doing to my sister is wrong. I got a question. Let me start with the black professional athletes. Let me start with the NFL and the NBA. Why don't we hear a protest coming from the NBA players? Why don't we hear a protest coming from the NFL players?
Why would you? Brittany Griner, for those of you who don't know, who haven't followed her, none of that stuff, let me tell you something about Brittany Griner. She's very resentful towards men. She hates men, yet she wants to be a man, especially a quote-unquote black man. She's disrespectful when she talks about NBA players. She has been in the past. Why the hell would they? If you ask them, a lot of them niggas in the NBA, they wokey woke. So, they'll be like, oh yeah, what's going on with the sisters is messed up, yada yada. The U.S. government needs to bring it back. They'll touch those talking points, right? Because they understand at least that much. But they're not gonna go out there and start no goddamn, protesting, nothing like that to bring it back. Why? The fuck for? And the NFL players, why the hell would they? What's the investment in it? You don't even see the LGBTQ community doing it. Because again, what's the point? What's the return on that investment for them? Huh? I hope that for Brittany Griner's sake, that when and if she does return, that she has a newfound perspective on life and all this stuff. So I would like to see her separate from the LGBTQ community and all that nonsense and stop, basically trying to destroy herself with all these liberal ideologies that don't help you in the end and don't care about your best interest in the end.
Y'all left Colin Kaepernick hanging, but you can save Brittany Griner. I'm talking to LeBron James. I'm talking to Steph Curry. I'm talking to Kyrie Irving. I'm talking to Kevin Durant. I'm talking.
Who left Colin Kaepernick hanging? Colin Kaepernick got a deal with Nike, a huge deal. Colin Kaepernick doesn't want to play football. He's made that abundantly clear. And not for nothing, the dude's been removed from football for years. So even if he really did want to play, who the hell wants to sign him? I'm saying if that's the case, shit, man, I'll get back in shape and I'll do what I gotta do and I'll fucking try out. If they're just gonna give niggas that hasn't been a part of the league in 7 years a go at it, then shit, I'll try.
To every black NBA player, are y'all going to take a stand? Do not report the training camp until Brittany Griner is home. You left Colin.
So they gonna fuck up their money for her? For what? I'm not just told you she don't give a fuck about them. She don't give a fuck about you. You know, but look, I'm gonna let this play a little bit longer because he keeps repeating himself too much. And then I'm gonna end it.
Kaepernick hanging. I'm demanding that the black NBA players.
Oh, you're demanding. Oh, okay.
Do not report to training camp until Brittany Griner is home. I'm demanding that the black NBA players do not report to training camp until Brittany Griner is home. I'm talking to the NFL players. I'm talking to the.
If you care so much, then what are you doing? Have you written a letter to the Biden administration? Have you done any of that? What have you done? Did you start? You know, are you giving money from your PayPal, your Cash App, to her family and to her wife and all that stuff? Are you? You might. I don't think so, but I'd like to know.
Lamar Jackson. I'm talking to the NFL players. All the black NFL players. Do not report to training camp until Brittany Griner is home. Do not report to training camp until Brittany Griner is home. NFL players, NBA players, baseball players, do not.
This is just more emotional babbling from Umar Johnson. But anyway, y'all, I think I get the point. Let me know what y'all think about it in the comments below. Please, again, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. More videos to come. Peace.